Hey everybody, let's see how things are working here. I'll make sure everyone can hear me. And we got Allie on the line here. Great. Okay. Yeah, cool. I can't wait to hear this. So, all right. Let's see. All right, let's get going here. Hey, Allie, you out there? There's bits of it that really remind me of some obscure stuff. Uh, like from an obscure 80s band from Germany named Camouflage. Huh. Interesting. So I'm looking up. I don't know. First and foremost, let me just make sure everybody can hear me out there. Looks like we're good here with everything. Everything worked, everything tested out okay, but you never know. Once you start going, all of a sudden there's something that goes wrong. Let's see. Let's Oh, cool. All right, good. Just making sure. All right. So who we got here? Saki Rocket. How are you doing? Joel Pepera. Hey, Joel. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Jonathan was asking what we were reacting to. Garlic bread. Hey, I like that. Who else we got? Sunrise. Great, you can hear it. Great. So cheers, guys. Oh, wrong one. Let's get the open one. Oh, it's Friday, man. It was a long week. So cheers. Yeah. I needed that. There's Allie. Oh, using a different account. Cool. So, greetings from Argentina. Hola. What's going on in Argentina? Let's see. It's Bruntoon evening, huh? Cool. All right. Anyway, so I'm psyched to get this thing going. I was looking to see. I figured let me take a look and see who Mark Prichard was, and it ends up, from what I can tell, he's a British musician that has like kind of an electronic thing going on. Born in April 1971, I almost said 1791. Currently signed to Warp. Okay, electronic musician. Okay, so I guess from what I read, this collaboration took place during COVID when everybody was locked up and these guys kind of sent files and audio files back and forth. According to this, collaborated with Thom Yorke to create the album Tall Tales, released through Warp Records in 2025. Project began in the COVID-19 lockdowns. Prichard sent Yorke a large number of MP3s, and cool. So they worked back and forth. That's kind of a cool way to work. I know that I did some work with somebody in Nashville, and this was maybe about 10 years ago when this was kind of all new, and we had to use Dropbox to get the files back and forth. But it was so cool to be able to hire a musician down in Nashville to play on something and just have it, that night or a few hours later. A really cool thing. So that's what this was, collaboration like that. Okay, so I think I'm going to get started here. I'm going to get I got some lyrics up over here. I'm looking at the songs, and it looks like there's 12 songs on here. A Fake in a Faker's World, Ice Shelf, Bugging Out Again, Back in the Game, The White Cliffs, The Spirit, which I reacted to already, which just destroyed me. What a good tune that was. Gangsters, this conversation is missing your voice. Huh. That's a cool title. That's a cool title. Tall Tales, Happy Days, The Men Who Dance in Stags' Heads, Wandering Genie. So we have 12 songs. I have the lyrics up over here so I can take a look and see what's going on with the lyrics. And I think I'm getting ready to go. So for everyone who's out there, let's get this thing going. Let's get the cans on, and let's see what we got. As I get started, guys, just let me know that you can hear the audio okay. Like I said, you never know if there's going to be a ghost in the machine and something goes wrong. So let's start with, I got the full album here, and from what I understand also, there are, I think, 4 official videos that I saw on Facebook, and it looks like there's only 4. So the rest of them I'm just going to play from the official album release. It just has a graphic on it. But I think the ones that are the videos that were done are Back in the Game, The Spirit, Gangsters, and This Conversation is Missing Your Voice. So at those points, I'm going to try to find the official videos for those because I'm curious to see what they look like. Cool. Burn Tune. I listened to this a little, but not a lot. Definitely a different type of stuff for Tom. Okay. Yeah. I love hearing all sorts of different stuff. So I'm really interested in hearing this. So let's take a listen. This one is A Fake in a Faker's World. All right, I'm going to stop it right there. It looks like it goes right into Ice Shelf. There you go. From there. So I want to talk about this song a little bit. So I really like this song a lot. I there's a lot of things that are that kind of piqued my interest about this song. One of them is its simplicity. It was very simple. It was very sparse, and it was really well thought out and really good. It's one of those things like, if you're a musician and you're ever messing around with stuff and you're just kind of noodling and doing stuff, and all of a sudden by accident you come up with this really cool idea, or back when we had just like 4-track cassette recorders to do multi-track stuff on, sometimes you just put a quick sketch. You'd write a song, you'd do a quick sketch of it so you could show the band, and you'd have a couple guitar tracks, you'd have the singing and maybe with some harmony, and then you'd go and record the song or do it with the band. But you'd go back and you'd listen to that initial recording, and there was some little magical element to it. There was some randomness, there was some ease in the way it was recorded. There was a creative aspect to it that maybe you weren't able to reproduce when you went into the studio. And so this has a little feeling like that to me. Maybe it's just my imagination, but the idea that they were just sending stuff back and forth may have made it a little more experimental and been a little more freer with it, maybe thinking that we don't know really what we're going to do with this at some point, so let's just do it, So it has that kind of a feel to me. The music has a little bit of like a Tangerine Dream, from the 70s, an early synthesizer band. This has kind of a little bit of a Tangerine Dream vibe to me, only because that's my reference point. That's kind of what I would associate with electronic music. And this had a little bit of a feel of it. There was a cool, it was a very, very musical composition, because it started out with a basic theme. It was a flat 6 to a 5 note to a 1, and it sounded like A minor. Let me give you some keys here. Right? And then and it you know, that in itself is very simple, but the fact that it wasn't locked into the time signature of the song made it really, really interesting. You know, as this thing went on, it wasn't, you know, if it was locked into the song, it'd be, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was very free, and it was really interesting. I thought it was really cool. I like the electronic drums, the little drum. It reminds me of the old little Roland 606. It kind of had a kind of a, with that little cheap electronic hi-hat, you know, so it kind of had that kind of a vibe. So I like that. I like those simple, you know, what in back in the day was a cheap drum machine sound before, you know, everyone threw these things away thinking, oh, I want to get a sample drum machine, you know, a Lynn drum. That's the real deal. And they were real cool, but all of a sudden these went out of vogue real fast, and years later they became a hot commodity. Burnett, I like that weird little bass line. Yeah. So I thought it was really cool, and the vocals. That's Thom Yorke singing, obviously, and it had a little bit, the way he was singing, this very light sound that had a lot of reverb to it that was kind of a wash of sound there. It's reminded me of like Tame Impala, the less I know the better. It felt like that, you know. There's something about the way he did that, and yeah, and then there were these little sequences, those little lower sequences that happened, and a little drum machine fill in there and everything, and that happened again at the end, and then all of a sudden at the end there was a coda that sounded like A minor, D minor to an E, you know. Did that a couple times at the end. So that was the only time where I really heard kind of a more traditional chord structure. So it's really cool. I liked it a lot. I think that was really good. I would definitely want to hear this again. And it's one of those songs that you can kind of get lost in a little bit. So as it ended, there was that sound that sounded cold and like wind blowing and stuff. And I'm assuming that's what we're going to go into with Ice Shelf. So lots of fake endings, very point on with the song title. Yeah. So what are we talking about? I didn't even look at the lyrics in here. I was so intrigued by the music. A force that you cannot see, someone to look after me, a fake in a faker's world, a line that's just so absurd. A space for some more to come, a click and a thudding hum, a fake in a faker's world, a bridge that won't run across, our day will come. So I don't know, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about politicians gaslighting you? I was going to say blowing smoke up your, you know, I'm not going to say that. For the sake of a better world, attention and overload, some words I don't get at all, a fake in a faker's world. I have my numbers now, a ship coming out of the snow, our day will come, our day will come. So that's my guess. I don't know what you guys are thinking about with this, but that's kind of my guess. All right, let's go on to Ice Shelf. Let's take a listen to this. Panning. Yeah. I really like that. So far, these both of these songs I really like. Um, this sounded like it was an A minor. You know, it had traditional chords, and it was very slow going down. G, E minor, uh, F, E minor, and then D minor here and there. So that was more like traditional voicing, but just more of a wash of sound with that beginning. What was so cool is you had that first sound that came in, that whooshing kind of sound. It came in, and then a second sound came in, kind of like a call and response. So here's a sound that kind of sounds, non-musical, so to speak, being used in a very musical fashion, and using like a call and response thing that you would do, if you were playing notes. I thought that was really, really neat. I love the vocals. I love the melody that he was singing, and every once in a while the pitch would get a little weird. Let's look at the lyrics. Choose now before the doors close. Choose now and before we're gone. Standing solo on an ice shelf. So are we talking about, the environment here, or global warming or something? Will you believe in us or not? The storm contains nothing. It calls you love because it's heard the word. And just beneath an ice shelf, your sense of duty is misplaced, but it calls you love, but it lies. Interesting. I'm wondering if it has to do with that kind of a thing, global warming type of thing, or, I mean, the image of ice shelf and choose now before we're gone, almost like make a decision. Do you believe this? Do you believe this or not? So interesting. Either way, whatever the message is in the lyrics, I like the music. I like this song. It's really musical, interesting, and really cool. Really cool. There's also a really good song called Beautiful People that Mark and Tom did a few years back. It's really good, cool video too. Yeah, I'll check it out. Recommend you listen on headphones to get the most out of this one. Yeah, to listen to the panning back and forth, really, really wild. Really wild. I love the mix. I love the sparseness of the mix. And it's very musical and very expressive. Everything about it so far, I really like. Some of the videos and blips for Tall Tales were like a fever dream. Yeah, let me go back. The next thing is Bugging Out Again. Let me pull up the lyrics to that. Anything else I want to say about that one? No, I liked it a lot. Very cool. So let's... hopefully I got to the end of Ice Shelf, didn't I? That was the end, right? Yes. So next thing is Bugging Out Again. All right, let me go back just a hair to make sure I don't miss anything. So that's the end of Ice Shelf. I had to go back just a touch. Okay, so Bugging Out Again. Sounds like it could be a rock song, right? Bugging Out Again. 70s big hair band song. Flat 6, flat 7, 1. Wow.
Keep the dogs away. All I really think is you. Bugging out again. All I wanna do is hold you. Troubles in the night. Trouble duplicates and takes it. And stay till I'm alive.
I like that sound.
All I wanna do is break the mold that made me. Dust the sidewalk. Break the mold that rise.
G minor? What is that?
All I wanna do now is live by the night lantern. Oh, when I count to 3, where I wanna go. Bugging out again. Smells in the night. All I wanna do is hold you. Down until the night. But now I'm wondering if you will know me. Hurry, your mind's gone. All I wanna do is hold you till I find
So that was interesting. That to me sounded like Thom Yorke had a little more say in the chords of this song. That sounds a little more like something he does with Radiohead, where he throws in that weird, unexpected chord. And I haven't heard that yet in any of the other stuff. So it sounded like it was in G sharp minor. What was that weird chord? I thought maybe it was a G minor. I'm not sure though. Not sure. Not sure. Could have been. Nah, I think it was a G minor. I'm not sure. Interesting change. What are the lyrics all about here? All I want to do is hold you, keep the dogs at bay. All I really seek is shelter, bugging out again. So it sounds like, being in a relationship and just wanting things to go right when there's a little tension going on, trying to keep the dogs at bay. Are the dogs his insecurities? Are the dogs something going on with the partner? I think to me the dogs would be maybe the insecurities that make you self-destruct or mess up a relationship, bugging out again, whether that's jealousy, whether that's insecurity. That's kind of what I'm getting. All I want to do is hold you. The troubles in the night, trouble duplicates and takes us and stays until the light. All I want to do is break the mold that made me dust inside a box. Break the mold with rocks. That's what it sounds like to me. All I want to do now, smothered by a night lantern, and when I count to 3, I'm where I want to be. I'm bugging out again, spells in the night. All I want to do is hold you down into the night. But now I'm wondering if you really know me, or even what it's for. All I want to do is hold you. I'm terrified I'll fall, that this will never end. Wow, yeah, that's what I think. And I would think that's a pretty relatable thing. John says, honestly, at this point, Tom has written so many songs that lyrics aren't something he labors over very much. True. I feel the same way too. I think this is all stream of consciousness that's just pouring out of him and out of his life experiences, and not specifically trying to write about this, but this is what came out. I think this is, I agree with you. I think that's what happens. I mean, you can't help it as a writer. You can't help having stuff inside of you pour out every once in a while, even though you're trying not to do that. It happens. That's my feeling here. Confidenza was pretty good. No White Cliffs yet. Soon, I believe. Yes, soon. Synths sound like something from Mark's last album, a track called Sad Alron. Wow. Cool. I like it. Everything so far is really cool. So bugging out again. We don't want to be bugging out again. Wait a minute. This next song is Back in the Game, and I think there is an official video to that. Let's take a look. Back in the Game. Let's go back. I think it was here somewhere. Back in the Game. There's Tall Tales. Let's find it. Yeah. So if there's an original, if there's an official, yeah. So here's an official video for Back in the Game. So let's take a look at that. Let me get the lyrics up, and the lyrics are interesting. I like to take a look at them and see what they're about. Oh, you know what else I liked about this music so far? An interesting thing. When I listened to music early on in the 70s, when I was very serious about, learning how to compose, I listened to music that interests me, but also music to learn about what are you doing? Why do I feel the way I feel? Why does the sounds that you're making, why do they make me feel this way? And how can I use those techniques in my songwriting to do the same kind of thing? That's the vibe I get from this album. So when I'm listening to this album, I'm also getting that same vibe I got, back in the day when I was trying to listen to stuff to learn about music, to learn about the things that you can't learn in school. We're not talking about, oh, well, this chord goes with this chord and this is the notes in this chord and this scale. None of that. It's how to paint with emotions, and that's the kind of vibe I get from this. It's painting with emotions. It's not. It's just something that's kind of piquing my interest. So I'm liking this a lot. And then that's also why I'm looking at the lyrics, because I like that last song. I like the sentiment of those lyrics. What was it? Bugging out again. I really like that because it's something I can relate to, and I like that somebody feels something that I either felt or something that I can relate to or understand. So it's pretty cool. So Back in the Game. Let's see what this is about. That graphic there is just pretty cool. So with this one, I'm also going to be looking at the video. sorry, I hit that sound right there. I know that sound from somewhere, and I just had to stop for a second. That. That was really wild. That was wild. I thought that the graphics of this video are just amazing. It's like, I don't know, if you mixed Skittles and acid, this is kind of what I'm thinking here. And it's pretty wild. I thought the song was cool. The sounds in there were really great. That one sound where I stopped it, I can't remember what that is. It's a sound that happens. I keep thinking it's something that happens by accident sometimes, and it's a sound that you would totally dismiss, and all of a sudden it's being used here. But for the life of me, I can't place what it is. I'm not sure if you have like an arpeggiator set. I don't think it's that. I don't know what it is. Or almost like sometimes when you hit a string, but you hit a note on top by accident. I don't know what it is. There's something about that sound. It's really cool. Pac-Man, maybe it's a Pac-Man. Acid and DMT and Skittles. So this is cool. I like this. And again, the lyrics, I think it's just something pouring out of him about, being in lockdown and coming out of it, and good to have you back, sir. Where have you been? It's a game. They're banging pots and pans, chasing the game, sucking lemons all over again. Say hello, everyone. I'm back in the game. Everybody run. It looks like rain. So very cool. And the video is just freaky cool. I like it a lot. So far, everything about this album I like. I find it intriguing. I find it to be really creative and really interesting. So, it may not be everybody's cup of tea, which could very well be. It wouldn't surprise me. It's not your average tune. Back in the game. Okay, the White Cliffs is next. I don't think there's an official video for the White Cliffs. I'm going to take a look and see. I think it was, I wrote it down here. Back in the game, Gangsters. So the other one is Spirit and Gangsters. Those are the only two official videos that we have at this point. So let's take a look, and let's go back to the one we were listening to, which was this one. Yeah, so this.
Where you been?
Oh, that's so cool. That bass line is so cool. It's like a circus, a freaky circus tuba bass line. I just want to play that again. With that high A note in there. Very cool, very cool. So that's back in the game. So let's go with the White Cliffs, and it looks like everybody was talking about this one. So I'm curious to see what this is about. the White Cliffs. Let's find it over here. So let's just go to the end of Back in the Game and start it there. So there's the White Cliffs. I love that echo with the multiple delays on that synth kick. That's so cool. I like that idea. I told you, this is the kind of music you listen to learn.
Every now and then, a face that keeps changing. Every now and then. Another direction, blowing in the wind. everything is out of our hands. Everything is out of our hands. And I don't believe what you say. That everything is out of our hands. We've been over and over the same things, but everything is out of our hands. Waving from opposite cliffs now, both waving and drowning. Everything is out of our hands now. Everything is out of our hands. Better get in the boats now. When everything is out of our hands. It's easier to not love now. When everything is out of your hands. Everything is out of your hands. Everything is out of your hands. Blow, whistle, blow.
Yeah, that is pretty freaky. That is definitely freaky. So it starts off in with one kind of a sound, and then the middle of the song just changes to that low register. And when that all came in, this low note came in that was so freaking low. I think it was something that is like beyond the range of hearing, where you just feel it. It's one of those sounds that you just kind of feel through the bones in your skull. It was so freaking low. It was amazing. Slow and hypnotic atmospheres, big themes here. Yeah, this song is crazy. This song is really something. It's I'm still like processing it, still trying to. And again, I don't want to overthink any of this stuff. So the experience of listening to this song is what I'm trying to process. If I could put it into simple words, is what I'm trying to kind of wrestle with right here. It was a little otherworldly. It was a little dark, but not sinister dark. It was. I can't put my finger on what I felt about this, almost to the point of almost being afraid, but accepting a reality of life, almost that like life ends and this is what it is. You're standing at the cliffs waving goodbye, kind of a feel. But the darkness of that low voice was almost scary but comforting at the same time. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I'm feeling there. It was a uneasy feeling mixed with an odd, comfortable feeling. Weird. Very, very weird. But really cool. Yeah. So bleak, spooky, haunting. It's yeah, and then it ends with blow whistle blow. Like that was almost like, let's go, let's set sail. It's time to go. Which is really, I don't know. It fits the whole theme of the song. Just to end it that way by saying blow whistle blow. Really, really cool song. Really cool song. I mean, you could tell right now I'm a little bit at a loss for words because I'm overwhelmed with a lot of feeling, but I can't put my finger on exactly. It's a lot of little feelings, and I'm trying to put it all together to see what the hell it is that I'm feeling here. And truthfully, it doesn't matter. I liked it, and on a few more listens, maybe I'll figure it out. Maybe I won't. It doesn't matter. But the song did affect me. So very cool, very cool. Tall Tales, the White Cliffs. So what's next here? Let's see. The Spirit. Okay, that's the one. I saw that one. That one just crushed me. That one just crushed me, man. That was something. So I'm going to listen to it a second time. And quite often, when I hear something a second time, is when I pick up maybe more things that I didn't pick up the first time, and hear it a little deeper. So I'm gonna go. Let's do The Spirit, and let's get going with that. Had to figure that one out.
I'm nobody's fool, and you can't bring me down.
Being
I am not the fool that you think I am. All will be revealed. I keep the spirit alive. Alive. It's true. I wish you well. Pray for peace. A magic spell that sends you all to sleep. The shadows round your eyes, I'll keep the spirit alive. Life goes where it goes. I'll keep this spirit alive. I wish you well. Pray for peace for your soul upon a journey. Shadows round your eyes. I'll keep the spirit alive.
That's such a powerful song. That's such a powerful song. What? B? And it just sounds upbeat when it starts out. Just very, very upbeat sound. This time I was able to watch the video more. The first time I really didn't watch it. I was listening to the music, and it's just a sad song. Well, it's sad, but it's kind of bittersweet. Just saying goodbye to someone and saying that you'll keep the spirit alive, and watching death in his boat. And brings a person into the boat, and the person still is trying to move, but then collapses over into the corner, and then the second person comes in. And I thought it was very symbolic that they covered, the second person brought that cape or blanket, whatever, and covered the both of them together. It's like, together, for your whole life. Just very symbolic of that, and gonna leave this world together, and then they float away in that, and then death himself even falls into the water, and everything dies, kind of a thing. It's just one of those things in life. So it's a bittersweet song, and it just kicks the crap out of me. So really good, really good, really good. So, yeah, Spirit. So, Gangsters is next. We got some. E flat minor, B flat minor, F minor. What's that to? Yeah, so are these the chords to the song? That's cool. Yeah, E flat minor, B minor, F minor, C minor. Cool. Few people do sad ballads like Tom. Yeah, that's I'll agree with that. That is a very touching song. All right, so the next thing is Gangsters, which I think, again, there is an official Gangsters. Here it is. Gangsters. Let's do it. Wow, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, I liked it. I like it. That's the video was intriguing. I thought that was just so wild. It reminds me of, even the music reminds me of the weird fairy tales that you'd read. Like if you ever got a book of like old fairy tales and you looked at the pictures, they were always a little scary. They were a little bit scary, and the stories were a little bit twisted. And that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from a lot of the stuff in here. Really, really fantasy, really, fantastic kind of stuff. Very cool. Yeah, and this one works well vocally, a style you haven't seen Tom do yet. Reminds me of the Kid A era experimentation. Yeah, so, none of that. If you didn't know what this was, I don't think anybody would go, oh, that's Thom Yorke singing. Really, really, really different. So, pretty wild. Pretty wild. All right, so let's keep going. The music, again, very cool. Love that sparse synthesizer or orchestrations. So let me go back. I had to go back to this one. We were at, we did The Spirit, we did Gangsters. All right, so let's go to, with the end of Gangsters here, and going into This Conversation is Missing Your Voice. Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't this one have a... That's cool. I like that. And again, it's got that same fast echo with the slapback on it. This one has, I think, an official video, and not that it matters, but I want to get to that one. I think maybe not official video. So I think this is it. If not, we're playing it anyway. There it is. I like that sound. That's cool. Oh, sorry, folks. That sounded... That was so different than everything else on here. it almost had a kind of an R&B vibe to the vocal melody, right? It was definitely different. It was definitely different. So I like it. It seemed very experimental. Unfortunately I got caught up looking at the video. And sometimes when you look at the video, you're using a different part of your brain than the part that listens to music. And that's one of the problems I think I have with digital audio workstations. I mean, I record music all the time on the computer, but one of the problems I find is that you are looking too much at the music instead of listening at it. I used to have an 8-track way back in the 80s. I had an 8-track analog recording studio, and the workflow there was a lot different. I mean, you had to commit. You had just 8 tracks to deal with, so you had to really commit to what was on the tracks. You had to use every inch. You might be using a track for, we're going to do a background vocal here, and then we're going to do the guitar solo here, and then we're going to do something else over here. You had to really think it out beforehand. And the workflow when you're using a DAW or a digital audio workstation is great, but you end up sometimes, if you're not careful, I think you end up producing and mixing the song before you finished recording it, because you start committing to EQs and reverbs, and you start committing to drawing in automation lines and everything before you've even recorded all the parts. And I don't know, it's good. I guess it depends on how your mind works. Some people are maybe better at that because they can either keep it under wraps. But either way, the bottom line is I find myself relying too much on my eyes to mix it, because I can see the waveforms in front of me and I can see the automation lines in front of me, whereas just listening to see how it sounds and how it makes me feel. So I guess the point is this song is just something that is to me it's like an experimentation with, hey, I got this idea, let's see what we could do with this idea and take it to some place we've never taken it before. And that, to me, it's got a little different sound than anything on here, which of course doesn't surprise me. Everything on here is pretty, to me, experimental as far as, I guess it's from my point of view. Maybe if you're a big Thom Yorke fan, you're thinking, no, it's not experimental at all. This is what we expect of him. But from my point of view, it's looking at music. It would seem to be, especially as a songwriter, you think, well, this is let's experiment. Let's see what we get here, and it kind of has more of a vibe like that to me. Anyway. Thank you. You're getting good vibes, good vibrations. So, yeah. So the conversation is missing your voice. I'm looking at the lyrics, and I got nothing. Just speak up. How can you function with a mind dejected? So, the lights are on, nobody's home. What are we saying there? Doesn't matter. Again, I kind of agree. I don't know who was saying it before, but probably not. It seems like Thom Yorke isn't sitting down and trying to write lyrics. He's just writing what he feels and what's coming out, and I think that's the way the lyrics should be interpreted. Is they just are what they are. If you get something out of them, great. If you don't, you don't. I mean, look at Yes. Look at those lyrics. They're perfect. What the hell do they mean? I don't know, but you know what? They make me feel something. It's like painting with sounds and painting with words. So the literal meaning isn't as important as the little snippets that you feel when you hear certain words together. So that's the extreme version of what I'm kind of talking about. Anyway, let's see what we got next. Let's see where we are. So that was the conversation that Tall Tales is next. Okay, so this is the namesake of the particular album that we're listening to here. So let's go back. Let's find the official video here. This is from... Yeah, every time I go back to that, it's whatever we left off at. Sorry about that. Tall Tales. Here it is. Well, let's do it. I am so glad that I am not high. This was freaky, man. This was freaky. It was really cool. I love the synth sound in there. That one synth. It had such a, you know what it reminded me of in the old days of PPG Wave. It kind of had that wavetable sound to it. Really, really crazy, man. It's really, really cool. And I see the next song is something about happy something or other. It's just like, what? It couldn't be, I'm wondering. Some bass notes you feel in your gut live. I bet it. And the thing about the lyrics, the way they were talking about the lyrics, it was, the pacing of it was uncomfortably slow. And then the same thing for the what sounded like the female vocalist in the background, So, if you looked at these lines and, if you just read something, get inside and close the curtains, they said. But the way it was delivered is get inside and close the curtains, they said. And without even the inflection that I'm giving it messes it up. Crazy. I mean, it was good. I liked it. It was so different. It was spooky. Yeah, this one was spooky, definitely, for sure. Should be check out React to Can. So yeah, smoke them if you got them. Prichard writes very bleak dystopian music. Okay, so that makes sense, and this is obviously skews towards that and not towards Tom's more recent fun danceable material. Huh. Cool. I just love the textures and the sounds in there. Just really, really cool. Really, really neat. Spooky and cool. And like I said, I'm back. I feel like I'm back to listening to like Tangerine Dream, or listening to stuff from back in the day where you'd listen to like jazz, you'd listen to all this kind of music to absorb and learn what they were doing, and you heard all these crazy sounds and techniques that you haven't heard before, and it's just very mind opening. And this gives me the same feel, where I'm listening to this going, this is unusual. I would never have thought to put together something like this. Or when you think, what I was thinking, this song here, Tall Tales, what if somebody put this together, this exact song, and it wasn't Mark Prichard and Thom Yorke? Would this be dismissed as being weird? In other words, does the clout of who these people are make a person more receptive to listen? I'm not saying it makes it better or worse. I'm just saying that if somebody who was really unknown put this together and put it on YouTube, he might get a handful of people saying it was nice, and that would be about it. So, in other words, does the fact that you are well known not just make your music, make it more receptive, make people more receptive to it, but does it carry any weight where you think, I should listen to this because there must be something good? I think that's a curious thing. I don't know what the answer is. It's probably true. But it sounds like I'm being dismissive of the work, and that's not at all. Not at all. If something's good, something's good. There are plenty of people that probably have written great stuff that will remain in obscurity forever because right place, right time kind of a thing. So I thought that was a curious thought. Yeah, there's a sophistication to this. Absolutely. It's not like I'm minimizing the music. I'm saying if somebody unknown wrote something this fantastic, would they be able to get the same kind of traction? And I think I know the answer to that. The answer is no, because it doesn't matter how good it is. You need an audience to listen to it. You need an audience. And if you don't have an audience, the music itself can't always generate that audience. You need to know how to generate an audience, and then be able to do something a little more experimental and have it being tolerated, right? Where if you just started with that and you were an unknown, people would be like, it's a little too freaky for me. I don't know what this is. But if you have a track record, no matter who you are, it might make it a little easier to have something experimental at least be, listened to. I think that's interesting. I'm a little off topic here, but So yeah. Anyway, interesting, right? So let's move on. What do we got next? How are we doing so far, guys? Are we doing? Am I hitting all the points that you're looking for? Hopefully, if there's something you think I'm missing anywhere here, let me know. Happy Days. I can't help but see that title, Happy Days, and the stupid theme song to that TV show is going through my head. It's just, it's just one of those earworms. So I'm sure this is not a cover of the Happy Days theme song from wherever that was, with the 70s, that stupid show. Who was on that show? The Fonz. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going mental here. I only discovered Prichard because of his songs with Tom years ago, but I love his dystopian. Yeah, I got to listen to some of his stuff. It's funny, when I started, just before I did the live stream, I started getting set up in here, and I said, let me see who Mark Prichard is. How can I do this live stream? I don't even know who this guy is, And I looked on Wikipedia and I saw that, oh, he's an electronic musician. And I thought to myself, I've never heard anything by him. And it's curious that there's so much out there that you miss. And I've talked about this over and over again, how when you start becoming aware of music, I think I was aware of music at a very early age. My mom and dad, we lived in New York City, and they started a business. My father was an immigrant from Turkey, and he came here with like $20 in his pocket, and he ended up starting a business in Queens, in New York City. And my mom told me that the first thing they bought was a Grundig record player, which, by the way, can you see that light right over there? I don't know if you can see, but right underneath is that Grundig record player. It doesn't work anymore, and I thought maybe I'd try to restore it. And that was 20 years ago when I thought I'd try to restore it. But that was one of the things I kept, because I think the whole reason I'm a musician is from that Grundig record player. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can move this camera. And let me turn this around. Shine some light over there. There it is. There it is with the two buttons and the white buttons there. Man, that thing was on all the time in my house. My mom played, she bought records of like Broadway shows and stuff like that. So she would constantly be playing records. And I can remember being 4 years old, 5 years old, and listening to records and thinking to myself, ooh, I like that sound. And no, I don't like that sound. I like that sound. I don't like that sound. And when I got older and I taught myself how to play, I think that was the roadmap that I had to decide what sounds I liked and what sounds I mimicked and what something should sound like. And it's just interesting that you can get to that point of just hearing music and absorbing it. So when I listen to something like this, I want to absorb things that I'm hearing. I'm still doing it from when I was 4 years old. So interesting. So I want to listen to Mark Prichard, listen to some of his stuff, definitely, so I can absorb and learn. For me, music is a learning experience. That's a lot of times I'll dismiss something because I'll listen to something and I'll go, there's nothing to learn here. I can hear completely what they're doing, and yeah, I can appreciate it and I don't hate it, but there's nothing to learn here. I always want to learn something. That's why I'll listen to all sorts of different stuff. Anyway, where are we? This next song is Happy. Oh yeah, the Happy Days. There we go. The Fonz. All right, let's listen to Happy Days and see what this is about. That was really cool. That was cool, the bass line. I like that. That's cool. Really cool. Really cool. I don't know what it is. There's something about that song that just right away made me smile because it's so happy and it's about such a despicable thing of, drowning in the deep blue sea of debt, Yeah, it reminds me of like with the videos that we saw with these strange puppet characters and everything like that. I could see them, right off the bat with the drums and with the kind of marching drum in the beginning and dancing around. That was the first vision that I conjured up in my head. I like the simplicity of the drowning in the, they'll hear you. I like that. And then when the spooky voices come in with the Happy Days, Death and Taxes, it was just such a cool balance of this happy but bizarre sound and then the weird kind of spoken parts all with this music going. I thought it was pretty good. Pink Floyd, Middle Eastern Bop, from a fucked up Disney movie. Yeah, crazy tune. What's next? That was Happy Days. The Men Who Dance in Stags' Heads. I got a dog. And Poochie is sitting here at the door, trying to get in. Man Who Dance. Okay, let's do that next. Let me see if I'm finding it. Am I? What the hell am I hearing out there? After listening to this album, little freaky out there. Let's keep going. Let's see what we got. So this is The Men Who Dance in Stags' Heads. Let me get this thing straightened out here. Something's goofy.
The sun will go out, go back in his spot, forever changed, was done its job. The terror's cursed, and for what it's worth, a metal chain, a hammered claw, a pointed tooth. The sun has gone off. We signed the papers. back in the box now, to the gallows pole. The sun has gone out, the son of the old boss, that never changed, ne'er do well. We sign the papers, we line the pockets. The man who jams and stacks heads.
That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I'm looking at the words, and it's the teller's curse, and for what it's worth, a metal chain, a hammered claw, a pointed tooth. The sun has gone out. You should leave now. Yeah. Again, it sounds kind of like the bank making money and that kind of thing. Kind of weird. I like it though. D, right? Just simple, and I love the sound of that drum at the end. It's so, like somebody said, a medieval kind of sound, like madrigal music or something.
Ne'er do well. We sign the papers, we line the pockets.
And I like at the end where you hear the drum.
The man who jams.
It sounded like I could hear one of them either moving or breathing in the background. Listen carefully. There's something in there where you could hear humans. I swear I could hear like somebody breathing there. All right. My dog is going nuts here. So what do we got left? It looks like we got one more. Wandering Genie. I don't know what the dog's barking at. There's a lot of wildlife around here. You would think I'm only about an hour north of New York City, and we routinely have bears, big black bears, coming around, coyotes, rattlesnakes, and all sorts of critters, and then the normal things like raccoons and possums and wild turkeys and things like that. But every once in a while, like if a bear comes through, the dog just freaks. I guess they can smell the bear and she goes nutty. But yeah, you can hear an exhale kind of sound in there. Exactly right. That's exactly what I heard in there. This had a Lou Reed. Exactly the way he was delivering some of those lines. I'm thinking it sounds like somebody. What does it sound like? You're 100% right. Sunrise, 100% right. Lou Reed sounded definitely like Lou Reed to me. So Gustavo Cerati. Who's Gustavo Cerati? I don't know. I'm gonna have to remind me. Send me send me a comment every once in a while. So every once in a while, I'll go through the comments and I'll do a whole bunch of things that I've are just one-offs here and there. So definitely immediate favorite. Yeah, I think that was really cool. I like that. So while we're left here with Wandering Genie, and wow, I'm looking at the lyrics here, and it's just I am falling. Huh. Unless I did something wrong here. No. That's it. This stupid I hate this. When I go to try to find the lyrics, this genius.com, it's just pop-up after pop-up. It's just like, really? It's like when you go try to check the weather. It's like, is the weather even here? All I'm seeing are these pop-up ads for, hemorrhoid cream and stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, let's take a look. Boom. Okay. Last song, I think, of the album, right? Let's get there. Wandering Genie. Yep. Last song, guys. Last call. I never listened to Bjork before, but I recently started listening to some of her stuff, and I liked it. I like it. I think she's really good. that was pretty cool the way it kind of built up. Was it here? Just kind of this cycle of this upward motion and just building and building and building. Cool. Like it. Very, very interesting, orchestral, lush sounding. I think interesting end to the album. Very pensive. You know, kind of like, okay, this is where you take all these whatever thoughts or ideas or feelings you had from listening to this album, and this is where you kind of put them in a bowl and you either look at them or you think about them, but you let them all come together. You know, I think that's kind of the feeling I get from this last piece. Cool. And somebody was telling me Tuckman Marsh, I just learned it's pronounced Björk, not Bjork, which is, it's an O in there, right? But I guess the Icelandic pronunciation, Björk. Cool. So this is a pretty heartbreaking album. Yeah, Thom Yorke's stuff is a little melancholy, you know, a lot of it. These synths are heartbreaking. You're right. It's such a feeling of not longing, but like a bittersweet sadness to this sound of this. Are we falling or floating? Fall long enough and you won't know. Yeah, that's true. Orchestral warm-ups and Tom looping his voice. Neat. Album rides into the sunset with 2 gut punches. Wow. Yep. Masters of ambience and texture. Yep. Absolutely. Garlic Bread, it was my dad that introduced me to Thom Yorke and Radiohead in the first place. Yeah, you know, it's my daughter that introduced me, so, you know, it's all in the family here. Check out Mark Said Alron. This is where he first explored these ideas. Wow, so really, really cool album, and it was a great listening experience for me. Because like I said, I like to listen to music where I can learn things from. And even if those things I'm learning are subliminal, I like it. I like challenges. I like listening to stuff that's a challenge. So this album definitely for me filled the bill. You know, it fit the bill perfectly for something that was challenging and interesting and in some ways educational. So very, very cool. I'm glad I picked this one today. And again, like I think we all agree, this might not be everybody's cup of tea, but for me it was. So I liked it a lot. So anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. I thank you for coming along for the ride. This was a lot of fun for me, and this is great. This is just such a wonderful experience to be able to do this with you guys. So thank you all very, very much. Thank all of you that have subscribed to the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. That will prevent me from hitting this annoying little subscribe button every once in a while. And yeah, it'd be great. We're doing really well now. We're well over 5,000 subscribers and growing every day. And we're just looking to keep this thing going. Really cool. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I'm actually going to probably pick up my guitar and start playing a little bit. I've got a cool guitar back here. You guys got another minute? Hang out. Let me show you something. I may have pointed this out before. This is an LSL T-Bone. So if you're not familiar, the company is called LSL. They're out in Chicago. This is their Telecaster style guitar. I've got a couple of their guitars, and I really like them. And this has got a great Telecaster sound. Let me see if I can get get that mic up. I'm using a Wampler Euphoria pedal, which has got a great. It's a distortion, but it's also got. It sounds like it's got a clean sound mixed in there too. You know. And I'm running through a Dr. Z. I don't know if you can see it over there. A Dr. Z Maz 8. That's what I've got in the studio over here. I've got the Wampler pedal on there, and I've got a little gate pedal, noise gate pedal on there because with single coils being so close to the computers, it picks up some hum. But anyway, it's just got a nice sound, you know. Anyway, cool guitar. I'm going to play it for a while. And I'm going to have a little fun. So good night, everybody. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And see you soon. Take care.